Up to the sky, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Zay, collectively known as SoCal Uncensored or
STU! This is Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the worst podcast I've ever been on. Word.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the best podcast you've never heard of. My name's Tom. I am your host. Today is Sunday, January the 3rd, 2021. Hope everybody had a safe and happy new year. I want to thank everybody for listening, watching, and subscribing on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Make sure you're following on social media on all platforms. You can find the show at catchhookshoot. Head to patreon.com/catchhookshoot for bonus content, prowrestlingtees.com/catchhookshoot for your t-shirt needs, catchhookshoot.bigcartel.com for merchandise you won't find on Pro Wrestling Tees, and you can find links to all of that and more if you head to our link tree, which is linktree/catchhookshoot, or if you're watching on YouTube, you can scan this little QR code right here in the corner of the screen, and you'll find links to everything that is Catch, Hook, and Shoot. And if you ever want to shoot me an email, it's catchhookshoot@gmail.com. So, New Year, same show, kicking it all off like we always do with the match of the week. Alright, so this week's match of the week comes from AEW Dynamite, and it was the main event of the show. Cody Rhodes, Orange Cassidy, and 10 from the Dark Order taking on Team Taz. And this was part of the Brodie Lee Memorial Show put on by AEW, and this particular match was put together by Brodie Lee's son, Brodie Lee Jr., or -1 as he's known in the Dark Order. And the match itself was great. It was, kind of an odd teaming of Cody, Orange Cassidy, and 10, but those are Brodie Lee Jr.'s favorite AEW wrestlers. And like I said, it was a great match. 10 picked up the victory for his team, and it was a great, the whole show was a great tribute to Brodie Lee, and this match in particular, because it was, basically put together by his son and was the main event of the night. Match of the week, Cody Rhodes, Orange Cassidy, and 10 versus Team Taz. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely go back and check it out. Check out the whole show of AEW Dynamite from this past week, because it was, like I said, it was a great tribute to Brodie Lee, just from top to bottom, the whole show. And I want to make mention of a late addition to the 2020 year-end awards from last week. This one was not included, but I'm adding it now because, well, it's my show and I can do that. And that award is for the Booker of the Year, and that award is going to Brodie Lee Jr., -1 of the Dark Order for this match, because, on paper, like I said, very odd pairing with Cody, Orange Cassidy, and 10, but it worked out great, and they put on a fantastic match. So let's keep rolling right along into the next segment of the show. Here is my top highlights of the week, and it is called the 3 Count. So for the 3 Count this week, honestly, the highlights of the week were all of the tributes to Brodie Lee. I mean, there were, at the very least, there were graphics on pretty much every wrestling show that was on this week. You had individual wrestlers doing their own subtle tributes to Brodie Lee, whether it was wearing armbands or emulating some of his signature moves and things like that. So that's the 3 Count, is all of the tributes to Brodie Lee. I think the whole wrestling world did a great job of honoring his memory and showing just how much he meant to everybody in pro wrestling. By all accounts, if you listen to all of the tributes and everything put out by his peers, just a wonderful human being, great husband, great father, and just an all-around, like I said, just wonderful person. So that is a 3 Count for this week, is all of the tributes that we saw to Brodie Lee this week during all of the wrestling that was on TV pretty much. I mean, it was it was everywhere. So good on everybody involved, from WWE to MLW to especially AEW, in paying tribute to Brodie Lee. So let's move into the news and rumors for the week, starting off with Monday Night Raw. We saw a In Memory of Luke Harper graphic at the top of the show. Tom Phillips and Drew McIntyre both started off the show saying it's Monday, and you know what that means. Brodie Lee's catchphrase that he used pretty much daily on social media. So you know, I thought that was a really good way to start the show. I mean, and then, you know, moving into some of the matches that were going on, Keith Lee picked up a victory over Sheamus, so he has earned a title match for this coming week against Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. Grand Metalik picked up a win over The Miz, so the Miz's bad luck streak continues. But then later on in the show, Adam Pearce returned the Money in the Bank briefcase to The Miz, basically saying that The Miz was right. You know, it was John Morrison who cashed in, not The Miz. So the Miz once again is Mr. Money in the Bank. We saw a Alexa's Playground segment with Randy Orton, and Alexa was able to work in a subtle yeah, another catchphrase of Brodie Lee / Luke Harper in the course of that segment, which I thought was really cool. While Alexa was in the ring in Alexa's Playground, Randy Orton showed up on the big screen in the Firefly Funhouse and started tearing it up a little bit, so that prompted Alexa to challenge Orton for later on in the show, which was kind of odd. You don't see much man versus woman in WWE, if any at all. So, you know, bit curious there. We'll get to what exactly happened with that in a couple of seconds here. We saw, Ricochet had a match against Mustafa Ali. During the entrance of Retribution, we saw T-Bar hit the signature Brodie Lee pose on the way to the ring. Ricochet using the discus clothesline in the course of the match, but Ali was able to pick up the win over Ricochet. Still trying to get Ricochet to join Retribution. Ricochet still refusing, which caused him to get another beatdown. Shayna Baszler defeated Dana Brooke. Charlotte Flair defeated Nia Jax by DQ. Bobby Lashley has declared for the Royal Rumble, so has Nia Jax. Xavier Woods hit was wearing a Brodie armband during his match. He was the first one that you saw wearing that in WWE, and also hit the signature Harper clothesline, as Tom Phillips referred to it, the discus clothesline. But the Hurt Business was able to pick up the win over the New Day and the Hardy Bros, Jeff Hardy and Matt Riddle. And then at the end of the night, Alexa's challenge to Randy Orton ended up being Alexa, had a package at ringside, and inside that package was a can of gasoline and a box of matches, and basically goading Orton to try and set her on fire like he did to The Fiend. So, ended up with Alexa basically dousing herself in gasoline, which, yes, it was water. So many people pointing this out. Well, you're not going to have someone douse themselves with real gasoline. Come on, guys, it's a TV show. Give it a break. But, it got the point across. You understood the meaning of it. People are just being nitpicky about this. But, Alexa dousing herself with a can of gasoline, and the show was left on a bit of a cliffhanger, which is interesting, with a tight shot of Randy Orton standing there holding a lit match, and then the show fades to black. So we're left wondering what happened to Alexa, and I guess we'll find out tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw, which is also Legends Night, so we'll see the return of some WWE legends, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, The Big Show, among a lot of others. One of the interesting names that's been put out there for Legends Night is Carlito. Now, with MVP returning at the beginning of this year, it'll be interesting to see if this is a one-off for Carlito, or if he'll be making his return to WWE as well. Obviously, we'll find out. So that takes care of Monday Night Raw. Moving on to AEW Dark, we saw SCU finally pick up a tag team victory. They got a win over TH2. SCU having a bit of trouble as of late. not as cohesive as they once were. Kazarian and Daniels kind of getting on each other a little bit, and Kazarian actually threatening to split up the team at one point. So they finally picked up a victory over TH2, only to be attacked by the Acclaimed, at which point the Young Bucks came in and made the save. So let's move on to Impact Wrestling. Again, saw Brodie Lee graphic at the top of the show. Impact was basically just a recap show this week, so nothing really new going on. We did find out on social media that Sami Callihan has re-signed with Impact Wrestling for another 2 years, so that's huge for Impact. Sami Callihan has been one of their top stars for a while now, so they have re-signed him for 2 more years. Also, Ethan Page is now a free agent, and there hasn't really been too much put out there as far as where he will be going next. I mean, his tag team partner Josh Alexander is still under contract to Impact for a few more months, so the North as a tag team won't be showing up anywhere new anytime soon. But we could see Ethan Page pop up pretty much anywhere at this point, whether it's Ring of Honor, MLW, AEW, NXT, who knows. So keep an eye out for where Ethan Page is going to pop up next. Moving on to Wednesday night, AEW Dynamite. Again, the whole show was all about Brodie Lee. Had the 10 bell salute at the beginning of the show with the entire roster standing on the stage. Saw video messages from a lot of the AEW wrestlers, and the whole night was really about the Dark Order. There were Dark Order members in every match of the night. They had a clean sweep. Dark Order was victorious in every single match, and as it should be. Forget the storylines and all that kind of stuff. This was about honoring Brodie Lee, and the Dark Order was his group. All of them, you could tell, just obviously are heartbroken by his loss, and they respected him so much. So this was the right way to go about it. And then we saw so many other tributes throughout the night. Colt Cabana picked up the pinfall in a match with Cabana and the Bucks taking on Hardy Party, Matt Hardy and Private Party. And then we saw another appearance by the Acclaimed and SCU at the end of that match. Lance Archer came out wearing the Luke Harper type wrestling gear, the jeans and the white tank top, like Brodie Lee used to wear in WWE. I thought that was a cool little nod by Lance Archer. And in that match, Evil Uno picked up the pinfall. It was Archer, Uno, and Stu Grayson taking on Eddie Kingston, the Butcher, and the Blade. And we actually saw Jake the Snake Roberts get a little bit physical, hitting Eddie Kingston with his short arm clothesline. So that was really cool. I popped really hard for that one. I love Jake the Snake Roberts. Then we saw another 6-man tag team match with Hangman Adam Page, John Silver, and Alex Reynolds taking on MJF, Santana, and Ortiz. At the beginning of this match, we saw Reynolds and Silver throwing papers at Santana and Ortiz. And if you watch Being the Elite, that was kind of Brodie Lee's thing, was throwing papers at members of the Dark Order who got under his skin. So that was very, very cool. And in the course of this match, we saw a surprise appearance by Eric Redbeard, formerly known as Eric Rowan in WWE, Brodie Lee's tag team partner in the Bludgeon Brothers. Came out and chased Wardlow to the back as Wardlow was trying to interfere in the match. And John Silver picked up the pinfall in this one. And a really cool spot during this match was MJF outside the ring, kind of getting in the face of Brodie Lee Jr., pulled off his Dark Order mask and talking some trash to him, turned his back, and when he turned back around, Brodie Lee Jr. blasted him in the head with a kendo stick, which was really cool, getting him involved like that. Just a really awesome spot. And then another tag team match. Anna Jay of the Dark Order and Ty Conti picked up the win over Britt Baker and Penelope Ford. I already talked about the main event. 10, Cody, and Orange Cassidy defeating Team Taz. So the Dark Order did have a clean sweep. At the end of the main event, we saw Team Taz kind of jump on Cody and Orange Cassidy, and that's when we saw the appearance of Darby Allin and Sting coming out together through the same entrance in the arena. So interesting to see what's going on here. So is Sting kind of like Darby Allin's mentor now, or exactly what's going on with this one? I'm curious to see where this is going to go. Then after the main event, we had another tribute to Brodie Lee. His family was brought out, his wife, Brodie Lee Jr., as well as 10 accompanying them back out to the ring. Brodie Lee Jr. left Brodie's boots in the center of the ring, which is, symbolic of a wrestler's career ending. And in this case, unfortunately, Brodie Lee passing away. And Tony Khan did something very, very cool. Took the TNT Championship, not a replica, not some knockoff, the actual TNT Championship belt, and presented it to Brodie Lee Jr. and declared him the TNT Champion for life. And now, according to Tony Schiavone, the championship itself was not retired. The TNT Championship was not retired. That particular belt, the physical belt, was retired, and there is a new one being made for Darby Allin. So Darby Allin is still the TNT champion, but that particular belt that Brodie Lee held was the first person to hold that belt, the finished belt, was given to his son, which, like I said, very cool, very classy on the part of Tony Khan and AEW. And then at the very end of the show, we saw a video tribute to Brodie Lee with just tons of pictures of him, his family, his friends in the wrestling business, including from his days in WWE. So there was some type of at least conversation between Tony Khan and Vince McMahon for AEW to be able to use pictures of WWE superstars, including one of Brodie Lee and Eric Redbeard when they were the WWE Tag Team Champions. So, and, pictures of him with Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, and, just a really, really great tribute to Brodie Lee the entire night. So let's move on to some NXT news here. Again, started off the show with a Luke Harper graphic. WWE paying tribute to Luke Harper on all of their major shows this week. Bronson Reed picked up a victory over Isaiah Swerve Scott. Swerve still showing those heel tendencies. I think it's safe to say he has turned heel at this point. It was also the year-end awards for NXT. Shotzi Blackheart won Breakout Star of the Year. Undisputed Era wins Tag Team of the Year. Io Shirai is the female competitor of the year. Adam Cole is the male competitor of the year. Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly's match for the NXT Championship wins for Match of the Year, and Austin Theory wins for Future Star of the Year, and Io Shirai wins for Overall Competitor of the Year. Mercedes Martinez made her return to NXT, so she is back with NXT, obviously no longer a member of Retribution. We saw another video package with Xia Li and Boa, and a little bit different feel to this one. It would appear now that they are really taking to the training / torture that they've been enduring the last several weeks, and we found out they will be returning this coming week on NXT. And interesting note I just read earlier today, WWE has filed a trademark on the term "the hand" and also the Chinese character and the Chinese word for that term. I'm assuming this is going to be the person who's kind of controlling Xia Li and Boa, so don't be surprised if that's what they're called. Let's see. We also found out the Dusty Classic tag team tournament is going to be returning. So I believe they said in 2 weeks is when that would be starting. So we'll probably be finding out the teams this week. I already found out Undisputed Era is going to be represented in the tournament by Adam Cole and Roderick Strong. A little bit of a surprise. Typically the tag team for Undisputed Era is Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, but Kyle O'Reilly now going for the NXT Championship, and so the tag team representing Undisputed Era is Adam Cole and Roderick Strong, so I'm looking forward to that one. Pete Dunne picked up a win over Roderick Strong this week, and then had a bit of a confrontation backstage with Finn Balor, and I think that's definitely a match that everybody would love to see, is Pete Dunne versus Finn Balor for the NXT title. So they're kind of planting the seeds for that one. We saw Finn Balor cutting a promo in the ring about Kyle O'Reilly. And, of course, this prompted Kyle O'Reilly to come out because they have their title match coming up this week. And also, Karrion Kross and Damian Priest ended up involved in this segment and ended up in a brawl with each other. So, yeah, and that's obviously, leading into their match coming up this week, which we'll get into in a little bit here. And in the main event, Johnny Gargano was able to break the so-called Gargano curse and retain the North American Championship against Leon Ruff. So moving into some MLW news here, there was no new episode of Fusion this week. It was kind of just a countdown show to their Kings of Colosseum event coming up, but they did post a 10-bell for Brodie Lee, which I thought was very classy on their part. It's posted on their YouTube channel if you'd like to check that out. Moving into Ring of Honor, they had their Christmas surprise 10-man tag team match. Very entertaining match. The captains of the teams were Jay and Mark Briscoe on opposing sides, and they basically chose their partners by opening Christmas packages with, the names inside. So Jay Briscoe ended up with Flip Gordon, Brawler Malonis, John Walters, and PCO, and they were victorious over Mark Briscoe, the Beer City Bruiser, Dak Draper, Tracy Williams, and Dalton Castle. Some NXT UK news. NXT UK this week, again, like Impact, was just kind of a recap show, but we did find out that Ben Carter will be making his NXT debut this coming week, so I'm really looking forward to that. Can't wait to see what Ben Carter is going to be doing in NXT UK. Obviously, I've called some of his matches at Warrior Wrestling. Fantastic in-ring talent, and cannot wait to see him make his in-ring debut with NXT UK, but this coming week he will be debuting on Noam Dar's Supernova Sessions talk segment. So, but if you've never seen Ben Carter before, definitely check out NXT UK. You will not be disappointed. So moving on to SmackDown, again, we saw the same Luke Harper graphic at the top of the show. Like I said, WWE honoring Brodie Lee, on all of their major shows, which very classy move on WWE's part. Saw Roman Reigns cutting a promo in the ring. Of course, Kevin Owens came out, made his presence felt, and challenged Jey Uso for later on in the night. Originally was refused by Roman Reigns, but the match was made by Adam Pearce. Saw a tag team match with Apollo and Big E defeating Sami Zayn and Baron Corbin. Big E, like Xavier Woods, wearing a Brodie armband. And in a promo after the match, which I thought was really, really cool, made mentions of Rochester, which is Brodie Lee's hometown, Rochester, New York. And, talking about fans that he's met, he dropped the names Amanda and Nolan, which is Brodie Lee's wife and his youngest son. And also mentioned the Toronto Maple Leafs, which was Brodie Lee's favorite hockey team. So just an awesome, just bevy of tributes there by Big E. It was really, really cool. And we also found out Big E will be defending the Intercontinental title next week against Apollo Crews, who is his partner this week. So that should be a great match between those two guys. Let's see. Bayley and Sasha Banks also both wearing Brodie armbands during their match. It was Sasha and Bianca Belair taking on Bayley and Carmella. Carmella got a pinfall over Sasha Banks in this match, so they're definitely continuing the Carmella and Sasha storyline here. Also saw the return of Sonya Deville in a backstage segment, and it was confirmed that she is back on SmackDown, so would expect to see her back in the ring relatively shortly here. Then we saw Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode with just a vicious attack on the Street Profits, showing a lot of aggression, which I like. There was so long there that Ziggler and Roode were kind of an afterthought, almost turning into a comedy gimmick, and but showing a lot more seriousness, a lot more aggression. So I'm liking the current state of Ziggler and Bobby Roode. Hopefully, it continues that way. Cesaro and Daniel Bryan. Also wearing the Brodie armbands during their match. And, Bryan and Otis picked up a win over Cesaro and Nakamura. And the main event was supposed to be Kevin Owens versus Jey Uso, and it ended up turning into a vicious beatdown of Kevin Owens by Jey Uso and Roman Reigns, throwing him off of one of the tiers of the Thunderdome through a table. So I'll say it again. I'm loving heel Roman Reigns. He's playing the part perfectly. That's the best way that I can put it. Getting into 205 Live here. In case you guys haven't noticed, I am trying to cover every single wrestling show that takes place during the week, because I kind of got away from that last year, so I'm trying to get back into that. So, I am covering NXT UK, 205 Live. I'll be covering, main event whenever there's new episodes. There was no new episode this week, so but yeah, 205 Live again, and I wish I hadn't gotten away from it, because 205 Live has some really, really good matches with some WWE stars that you don't see on other shows. Like Mansoor picked up a win over Jake Atlas, and Mansoor right now is on, I want to say it was a 36 match win streak going back to 2020. So great match between Mansoor and Jake Atlas, and a nice six-man tag team match with Ever Rise and Kurt Stallion taking on the Bollywood Boys and Arya Davari. So if you're like me, you haven't checked out 205 Live in a while, go back, give it a look. It was two awesome matches on this show. So definitely check out 205 Live. And moving into a little bit of NWA news here, we found out Zicky Dice, former NWA TV champion, is now a free agent. So wouldn't surprise me to see him pop up somewhere else. I think a good fit for Zicky Dice would actually be Impact. I just think that's where his personality would work best. So, but who knows? He could pop up pretty much anywhere. I mean, a lot of former NWA guys have made their way to AEW, so he may end up there as well. We'll have to see. Wouldn't surprise me to see him show up on Dark at some point in the near future, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. And some miscellaneous news here. Brian Pillman Jr. has vacated the OVW Heavyweight Championship, citing his his obligations to AEW. So it's looking more and more like Pillman will be signing with AEW full-time once his MLW contract is up, which is, according to Fightful.com, is imminent, is that that contract ending. Some other notable free agents coming up in 2021 is Tanahashi and Ibushi from New Japan. Now, I don't expect to see either one of these guys move anywhere. I would say more than likely they would re-sign with New Japan if they haven't already. Some other notable names: Taya Valkyrie. Wouldn't surprise me to see her pop up in WWE with John Morrison. Moose, another one whose contract is coming up. Now, this one's interesting because before Moose signed with Impact, he had basically been signed to NXT, and the offer was pulled due to a domestic incident that got a lot of publicity right at that time, and that's how Moose ended up signing with Impact. So it'll be interesting to see if NXT still has any interest in bringing Moose in. Some other Impact names that contracts are coming up in the next couple of months. Rosemary. I think Rosemary would be a great fit in AEW, honestly, especially with, I'd love to see a rivalry with her and Abaddon. Willie Mack and Rich Swann. I wouldn't expect to see them move on from Impact Wrestling. They both had really good runs there. I don't think that they would be moving anywhere, but who knows. And Jordan Grace, another one whose contract is coming up relatively soon. Now, she is one I would really like to see go to AEW to kind of give their women's division a boost. So we'll have to see where Jordan Grace is going to end up, if anywhere. I mean, there's always a possibility that all these people re-sign with their current companies, and that's that. So let's get into some previews of what's coming up this week. A lot of big events coming up. First and foremost is Wrestle Kingdom coming up on January 4th and 5th for New Japan. Night 1, we've got a New Japan Rumble to determine who's going to challenge for the Provisional King of Pro Wrestling trophy on Night 2. Hiromu Takahashi taking on El Phantasmo to determine the challenger for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. The Dangerous Trekkers, Tai Chi and Zack Sabre Jr. defending the IWGP Tag Team titles against Guerrillas of Destiny. I expect Guerrillas of Destiny to win this match, and then you are going to see Bullet Club and former Bullet Club just basically owning tag team wrestling across the board. I mean, you'll have Guerrillas of Destiny in New Japan, you've got the Good Brothers in Impact, and you've got the Young Bucks in AEW. So, and then we've got Kenta taking on Kojima. This match is for the IWGP United States Championship Challenge Certificate, which currently is held by Kenta. Now, the IWGP US Champion, of course, is Jon Moxley. Obviously, he's not going to be at Wrestle Kingdom, but the winner of this match gets the next title shot. Then we've got Hiroshi Tanahashi taking on Great Okan. Kazuchika Okada taking on Will Ospreay. That match is going to be insane. I honestly probably not probably, two of the best wrestlers in the world right now. So that match is just going to be all kinds of crazy. And then Tetsuya Naito defending the IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental Championships against Kota Ibushi. I'm picking Ibushi to win this one. I think Ibushi's going to take those titles on night 1. Night 2, we've got a couple of Stardom exhibition matches kicking off the night. Queen's Quest taking on Donna Del Mondo, and then another one, Mayu Iwatani and Tam Nakano, again taking on Donna Del Mondo. And then we've got a 4-way match for the Provisional King of Pro Wrestling trophy, and that is, like I said before, going to be determined by the 22-man New Japan Rumble from night 1. Suzuki-gun, El Desperado, and Kanemaru taking on one of 8, defending, Suzuki-gun defending the IWGP Junior Tag Team titles. Shingo Takagi defending the Never Openweight Championship against Jeff Cobb. I'm picking Jeff Cobb in that one. Evil versus Sonata. This one is going to just be a fight. I mean, Evil and Sonata have fought each other before, obviously, but they were tag team partners for a very long time, and now they're on opposite sides. So, this is going to be probably, very possibly, match of the night for night 2. Then we've got Taiji Ishimori defending the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship against either Takahashi or El Phantasmo, whoever wins from night 1. And then we've got either Tetsuya Naito or Kota Ibushi defending the IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental titles against Jay White. So that is the breakdown of Wrestle Kingdom nights 1 and 2. Coming up on the 6th of January, we've got 3 big events in one night. The Kings of Colosseum event from MLW, which is going to see Myron Reed defending the MLW Middleweight Championship against Leo Rush. That match is going to be all over the place, and I cannot wait to see it. Alex Hammerstone defending the National Openweight Championship against Mads Kruger, who is also known as the Black Hand of Contra. Jordan Oliver versus Simon Gotch. This one is just going to be a great clash in styles. You got the speedy, high-flying Jordan Oliver against the mat technician Simon Gotch. So that's going to be a great match with those guys. And then the Von Erichs defending the MLW Tag Team Championships against the Dirty Blondes. Also on January 6th, we've got NXT New Year's Evil. Santos Escobar defending the Cruiserweight title against Grand Metalik. I'm picking Escobar to retain. We've got a fight pit match between Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher. These guys are just going to beat the living hell out of each other, and I can't wait to see it. I'm picking Thatcher for this one, though. He won the first fight pit match against Matt Riddle, so I'm going to pick him as the winner in this one against Ciampa. Also seeing as Ciampa won their first match, so I'm picking Thatcher to win this one. A last woman standing match, Raquel Gonzalez versus Rhea Ripley. I'm picking Raquel in this one. She's been on just a tear lately, and I don't see that ending anytime soon. So I think Raquel Gonzalez is going to pick up the win against Rhea. Karrion Kross versus Damian Priest. This is probably the match I'm looking forward to the most. I just want to see these guys get in there and tear it up. I'm picking Karrion Kross for this one, though, especially since it looks like they're going to thrust him right back into the NXT title picture because he never lost that belt. He had to vacate it due to his injury. And then we've got Finn Balor defending the NXT title against Kyle O'Reilly for the second time. I know this is going to be a fantastic match, as was the first one with these two guys. It wouldn't completely surprise me to see Kyle O'Reilly win the championship in this one, but I'm gonna say I think Finn Balor is going to retain. Then for AEW, they've got their New Year's Smash event. It's a 2-night event on the 6th and the 13th. Night 1, Jon Moxley will be returning to AEW. He will be there live in the arena. We've got an faction match for the Inner Circle, Wardlow taking on Jake Hager. That one should be just a hard-hitting brawl with these two guys, so I can't wait to see that. You guys know Wardlow's my guy, so I'm picking Wardlow to win this one. Hikaru Shida defending the AEW Women's title against Abaddon. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Abaddon for this one. I think we're going to see a title change. And then Kenny Omega defending the AEW World Championship against Rey Fenix. I'm going to pick Omega to retain. I'm sure we're going to see some shenanigans from Don Callis. I think it'd be really cool to see the Good Brothers pop up and get involved, but we'll have to see. Night 2, coming up on the 13th, Darby Allin defending the TNT title against Brian Cage. I'm assuming that's when we'll see the debut of the new TNT Championship belt. I'm going to say Darby's going to retain. Darby is as they say, the face of TNT. He's one of the top stars right now in AEW, as he should be. So I'm going to say Darby's going to retain against Brian Cage. Cody Rhodes taking on Matt Sydal, and FTR finally taking on the Jurassic Express after what seems like weeks of just back and forth between those two teams. And then finally coming up on the 9th, Impact having their Genesis Impact Plus special. Main event on this one, or what I would say is probably the main event on this one, Willie Mack versus Moose in an I Quit match. I have to pick Moose to win this one. Moose has been on a real hot streak lately. It wasn't stated that this is for the TNA Championship, which Moose currently claims, so I'm guessing it's a non-title match, quote-unquote, but an I Quit match. I'm picking Moose over Willie Mack. And then they're having the Super X Cup tournament, a one-night, 8-man tournament for the Super X Cup. The first round is Ace Austin versus Suicide, Daivari versus Cousin Jake, Crazy Steve versus Trey Lamar, and Casey Navarro versus Blake Christian. Trey Lamar and Blake Christian, both guys that I've seen live at Warrior Wrestling, called a couple of their matches. Both tremendous talents, so it's awesome to see them taking part in this tournament in Impact Wrestling. I'm picking Ace Austin as the winner of this. He's been off TV for a little while. By all accounts, Impact just hasn't had anything for him. So I think this is kind of his road back into the X division is winning this tournament. So we'll have to see how that one plays out. So that is going to do it for news and rumors and previews and predictions for the week. So right now I am going to throw it over to Charlie G, and he is here with your Indie Cut.
Thank you, Tom, and hey there, Happy New Year, wrestling friends. I am Charlie G with your Indie Cut. I'm changing things back to what this cut was supposed to be, and that is the U.S. indie scene with a few other Puro and Yoshi promotions that I watch, and maybe even the Lucha Underground recap will return. I just took on too much and wasn't enjoying wrestling, so I will still say when shows were, with title matches and changes, well-known names and such. Hope y'all don't mind. If not, email the show and find me slacking around on Twitch and message me there. So now then, you know what that means. Let's begin with Saturday, December 26th, and Stardom Year-End Climax 2020. Where they still had an attendance, still 700 people. So back on the 26th, it was still okay. There was a 3-way match with Goki and Death defeating Lady C and Ruaka. And a singles match was Momo Watanabe defeating Saya Ida. Tag match was Maya Iwatani and Starlight Kid defeating Azumi and Riho, which would pretty much be the last of Riho we will see for a while. Don't need to get into that. There's politics, of course. Tag team of Himeka and Natsupoi defeated Natsuka Tora and Saki Kasima. 6-woman match, Julia, Maika, and Siri defeated Mina Shirakawa, Tam Nakano, and Unagi Sayaka. In that match, Mina did suffer a broken nose from, I believe, a couple of big boots to the face by Julia. Not going to be sure on that, but she does have a broken nose and will be out for some time. And then for the Goddesses of Stardom title match, Bea Priestley and Kanami defeated the champions Saya Kamatani and Utami Hashita to become new champions. There was a Noah Congo Produce Diamond 3 show from Kirk and Hall. Then there was Nagata Pro Wrestling show for the Nagata tag titles. Great Kozika and Shinjino Shima defeated champions Kazmu Kikuta and Raichi Kawakami to become champions. Of course, there was New Ice Room 1088 show. Dragon Gate Fantastic Gate Day 11. Where Diamante Kai and Kazuma Sakamoto defeated Dragon Kid, Mandy Rio, and Ultimo Dragon. Then we move to Victoria, Australia for Professional Championship Wrestling Ignition, where they had Summer Series Cup matches, so no need to get into that. ICW Fight Club 151 with their Lionheart League matches on WWE Network. We move here to the States. Wrestle Club Free For All from Caldwell, Idaho. Haven't said that in a while. So Jonathan Monroe defeated Ultimo Action Panquito. And in a four-way match, Brad Zane defeated Jay Cruz, Marcus Anderson, and Mega Masca. Then to Metroplex Wrestling Frozen from Bedford, Texas. And I believe on the 26th it was kind of frozen there in Texas, so it meant well. For their Metroplex tag titles, champions Ryan Remington and Tommy Becker defeated Eric Parable and made like champion. Erica Torres defeated Liva La Vida Loca. And six-man tag, Casey Clay, Mr. Legs, and Tatum Manning defeated Exodus Prime, Sebastian Envy, and Sky D. Lacrimosa. Over to H2O Subterranean Violence Volume 8, Nightmare After Christmas, from Women's Town, New Jersey. For the ISW Undisputed King of Crazy title Santa's leftover match, champion Tara Calloway defeated Kit Osborne. For the hybrid title, champion Frankie Picard defeated Mouse. For the Danny Havoc hardcore title, champion Bam Sullivan defeated Connor Claxton, Sean Henderson, and Schlack. For the H2O tag title, Austin Luke and Marcus Mathers defeated champions Bruce Gray and Tyler Vox to become the champion. And H2O heavyweight title, champion Ron Mathis defeated Mitch Fallon. Down to Anarchy Wrestling, Anarchy Hardcore Hell 2020 from Cornelia, Georgia. For the television title, Nick Halen defeated champion Tyler Culprit by DQ. And the Landmark Heritage title, champion Scott Mason defeated Azrael. In the Anarchy tag titles, Bill Barons and Matthew Hankins defeated champions Ben Buchanan and Griff Garrison to become new champions. And for the Anarchy heavyweight title, champion Shane Marks defeated Logan Creed. To Sunday, December 27th, 01 No Bowling show took place. Wave Thanksgiving Bye Bye 2020 show took place, where the Wave tag title, Mio Momono and Yumi Oka, who are champions, defeated Hibiki and Sari, so she's still in Wave Wrestling. And for the Regina D Wave title, Sakura Hiroto defeated champion Nagasi Naziki to become the champion. Then on to Ryu Kaiju Dragon Pro Wrestling. First tag team champion tournament finals. In the tournament final match, it was Hibiscus Mill and Van Vert Jack defeating Guru Kun Mask and Siri Joe to become new champions. There was a Pure J 2020 final battle show. Nothing really. There was no championship match in that. Iceman New Iceman 1089 in Skip City took place. Dragon Gate Fantastic Gate 2020 Day 12. Where BB Hulk, Diamante, and Eita defeated Masaki Machizuki, Super Shiso, and Ultimo Dragon. Then in the DDT DOU Grand Prix 2020, the final, for the KO'd six-man tag title, champions Akito, Kazuki Hirata, and Shota defeated Mei Mao, Shuma Katsumata, and Yuki Uno. And in the Grand Prix 2021 final match, Jun Akiyama defeated Kansuki Takashita. Over to Rev Pro Epic Encounters 7 on Twitch and YouTube, so look that up if you wish. For the SWE World Heavyweight Title Tournaments matches, I'll just go through the victories. Dan Maloney, Ricky Knight Jr., Screwface Ahmed, Charlie Sterling, all won their matches. And a tag match, it was Giselle Shaw and Jamie Hayter, who actually did finally wrestle, defeated Sky Smithson and Jan Phoenix. Back here in the States for SMTF Pro Wrestling. For the Team Vision Dojo Rookie Title match, champion Tone Hero defeated Ian Vescalar. For the SCW Florida Heavyweight Title, champion Dean James defeated Chungus. For the AWA Florida Tag Team titles, Adam Vale and Brian Atomic defeated champions Jason Rance and Deon James, along with Nick Quiones and Rip Ruiz to become the champions. Then to Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment Show of the Year 7. In a best 2 out of 3 falls match, Shug D defeated Alexander James 2 falls to 1. Allison Kay defeated Bobby Flacco, and for the GWC title, champion ACH defeated Homicide. To Monday, December 28th, and Marvelous Wrestling in Japan, Asuka defeated Mei Hasazuki. Good with that. For Active Advanced Pro Wrestling, Grand Slam and Kurigan Hall, Risa Serra defeated Rina Singaki. The Strong Hearts Shima, El Lindemann, and T-Hawk defeated Ame Sasamura, Kotaro Yoshino, and Tank Nagi. And for the 2AW Openweight title, champion Ayoto Yoshida defeated Senkiro Yuri. Back here in the States for H2 Undiscovered number 40, Sink or Swim. Frankie Picard defeated Nothing Face. Darren Hardaway defeated Mark Angel. And in best 2 out of 3 falls, Reed Walker defeated Austin Luke 2 falls to 1. Tuesday, December 29th, YMZ Gokigen year-end show took place on YouTube with 2 matches. DDT Ganbare Pro the World 2020. For the Independent World Junior Heavyweight title, Shota defeated champion Asuka to become the champion. Then to Tokyo Ocean Pro 2020 final round. I hope there are lots of fun and happy things to do next year. Great title of that show. Where Marika Kobashi defeated Moka Miyamoto. Akari Noah and Sina Shiori defeated Haruno Neko and Nai Kakuta. Hyper Michio and Shoka Nakajima defeated Raku and Suzumi. Miuri Ryumi and Miyo Watanabe defeated Mizuki and Pam Harajuku. And then in a best 2 out of 3 falls 8-woman tag match, Mihiro Kiru, Maki Ito, Rika Tatsumi, and Yuki Kamafuki defeated the Bakurasa sisters, Ndoki Tenma and Yuki Ono, Miyo Yamashita, and Yuka Sakazaki 2 falls to 1. Good show. Check that out. You know where. Wednesday, December 30th, Oz Academy, the end of the year show. Aja Kong defeated Rina Singaki. Siri defeated Shiri Onuyu. So Shiri's also in Oz Academy. In Oz Academy tag title match, Keiho Kobayashi and Kokira Sakaguchi defeated champions Okino and Sonoko Kato to become the champions. And for the Oz Academy Openweight title, champion Miyumi Ozaki defeated Hirio Matsumoto. Gotta Move Choco Pro 75 on YouTube took place with 3 matches. Actress Girls Act 49, where they had AWG Tag Title Tournament semifinal match with Maika Ozuki and Tai Hanma defeating Hikari, Shimizu, and Saki. Back here in the States, Limitless The Road Season 2, Episode 11. Film or from Maine. TJ Crawford defeated Zachary Pierre Below. In an Anything Goes match, Nick Stapp defeated Jeremy Leary. Champ Matthews and Connor Murphy defeated Chris Ben and Logan Black. And Divine defeated Travis Huckabee. On to Thursday, December 31st, New Year's Eve. Westside Extreme Wrestling Shotgun 2020 New Year's Special. I believe not on the network, so she's going to have to search for this one. The Rotation defeated Ender Kari. Mike Swartz defeated Kareem Brigante. And for the Shotgun title, Norman Harras defeated champion Mitahan to become new champion. Then, Independent Wrestling Federation Strike 74 2020 from Moscow, Russia. So Russia, you are now on the map. This show was on YouTube, so check that out if you wish. For the IWF Lightweight Title Fatal 4-Way match, Max Pro Max defeated Alexei Usman and champion Harry Sweet and NMG to become champion. Sorry about these names. And for the Moscow title and the triple threat match, Dmitry Orlov, who was champion, defeated Ivan Markov and Yaroslav Dershaven. Thank you, hockey, for knowing those names. Ice Ribbon, new Ice Ribbon 1090 Ribbon Mania 2020 show took place. For the Fantastic Ice title death match, champion Risa Serra defeated Akane Fujita. International Ribbon Tag Title match, Maika Ozaki and Maya Bukai defeated champions Hiragi Kurumi and Moki Miyagi to become the champions. And the Ice Infinity title match, champion Susie Suzuki defeated Sari Oni. Got to Move Choco Pro 76 on YouTube, where they had an Asian Dream Tag Title match with Burian Aki and Mei Segura defeating champions Emi Sakura and Kari Yonayama to become the champions. World Women Pro Wrestling Diana show took place on YouTube with the matches. Then a DDT Big Japan Pro Wrestling Joint Show Shuffle Tag Tournament. This was an interesting show. I did watch this after all. Fluorescent Light Tube Death Match. Raiju Ito defeated Shuma Katsumata. That was a match. That was a wild match. And then for the Toshiwashi, Shuffle Tag Tournament final match, Hiroshima and Yuji Okabayashi defeated Yasufumi Nakanoi and Yuki Uno in a really decent match. Back here in the States, for Wrestle Club Ring in the New Year from Caldwell, Idaho. I'll say Idaho eventually, correct, sooner or later. Damian Black defeated Ultimo Action Punkido. Steve Super Bistio defeated James Grimm. Jonathan Monroe defeated Marcus Anderson. And for the Wrestle Club Potato Bowl title best to 3 falls, no DQ match, champion Jay Cruz defeated Brad Zane. Then Paradigm Pro Wrestling UWFI Rules Contender Series 2. Matthew Justice defeated Robin Martyr. Flash Thompson defeated Jeffrey John. Aaron Williams defeated Ron Matthias. And Bobby Beverly defeated Miles Morales. And then to something I finally watched, GCW and Hybrid Good Riddance pre-show, free and live on YouTube. So Trey Lamar defeated Levi Everett. The one called Manders defeated Alice Taylor. And in a relaxed rules match, Holiday defeated Willow Nightingale. Then for the GCW Good Riddance main show, Joshua Bishop and Matthew Justice teamed to defeat KTB. Took on KTB and Shane Mercer in a double pinfall. Yeah, okay. That was lackluster. Treehouse Lee defeated Saive Al-Sabah. Atticus Kogar defeated Elena Black, who was back after a back concussion. So nice to see her back in action. Lee Moriarty defeated Calvin Tankman. In a deathmatch, Slack defeated the one called Manders. Jordan Oliver defeated ACH in a really good match there. Then in a six-way match, Chris Dickinson defeated Alley Cat, Blake Christian, Cole Radrick, Effie, and Mance Warner. And kind of a quick match for them. They had to waste 20 minutes before their I Quit match that started after midnight. So this was the first match of the new year, here in the States, of course, where G. Raver made Jimmy Lloyd say I quit in a nasty I Quit death match. Then we go to New Year's Day, Friday, January 1st. YMZ, the 8th Sunrise Show on YouTube, where they also had 3 matches. Wave Nami 1, where they had Regina D. Wave title match. Champion Sakura Hiroto defeated Makoto Shindo. Gotta Move Chaka Pro 77 on YouTube with 3 matches. They're just whooping those shows out, aren't they? Then to GCW 56 Nights here in the States in Lansing, New Jersey. Jordan Oliver defeated Trey Lamar. Ken Broadway defeated ACH. Chris Dickinson defeated Colt Radrick. Joshua Bishop and Matthew Justice defeated Alley Cat and Effie. In an 8-way kind of a tag scramble match, KTB and Shane Mercer defeated the one called Manders, Charlie Tiger, Elena Black, Ellis Taylor, Levi Everett, and Steve Scott. Mance Warner defeated Calvin Tankman. Blake Christian defeated Lee Moriarty in what I'm saying is the match of the year so far. That was really good. And in a death match, Alex Colon defeated Atticus Kogar. To earlier today, Saturday, January 2nd, All Japan New Year's Wars 2020, Day 1 took place. Masato Tanaka defeated Zeus. And for the All Japan World Tag Title, Kento Miyahara and Yuma Ayagi defeated champions Shuji Ishikawa and Suwama by referee's decision to become new champions. Onto some news. GCW will be doing a live and free 24-hour fundraiser show starting on January 29th at 7 p.m. Central Time to January 30th, 7 Central Time. Yes, GCW is going to do a 24-hour show. I don't know how this is going to be done, but details are still to come. My guess will be on YouTube, as they did their last show on the YouTube channel was a fundraiser show as well, and it sounds like it will be for all independent wrestling promotions. So I'm guessing like a 24-hour collective show with no fans. They learned from that. I will keep you informed on the details when I find out more myself, because it sounds interesting and it's good for independent wrestlers who have no income and don't know what's going to go on the rest of this year. So, good for GCW. Now, as I said last week, since I do have some time, some quick independent awards. This is my opinion only, no one else's. So, you don't have to care if I, can hate me or not like them if you like. I left out the Warrior Wrestling shows since I'm sure Tom did that, and it's not fair, to everyone else. So, Male Wrestler of the Year is Brian Pillman Jr. since he won about 4 championships in about 5 or 6 independent companies. So good for him. I think he did what he intended to do. Female Wrestler of the Year, I still believe, is Kylie Rae. For what I believe, she got her smile back. She did lose it. She was on top of the world, all over the place, and she seemed happy for the most part. So she is still my Female Wrestler of the Year. Breakout male wrestlers, I couldn't pick one. So it's Blake Christian, Lee Moriarty, and Ben Carter. Blake got noticed all over the place. Got New Japan, Black Club Flow, Warrior Wrestling, GCW. He really made his name. Lee Moriarty is the one who it will be the breakout guy coming this year for sure. I'm pretty sure of that. And then Ben Carter for his 5 matches and got signed to NXTUK, which I heard his debut might be happening on January 7th. So check that show out if you wish. Breakout female wrestler is only Elena Black, 19 years old and doing wonderful things in the wrestling industry. Can't wait to see what this year holds. Match of the year, I have 2. It was Kylie Rae versus Blake Christian for the Black Label Pro Midwest title. At Black Label Pro, we're back at Wrestler Story from August 22nd. And then Joey Janela versus Leo Rush, GCW Homecoming Weekend, Day 2, July 26th. That was just an awesome match all around. Then I guess I should say my Puro and Yoshi awards. So, Male Wrestler of the Year is Tatsuya Endo. Female Wrestler of the Year was Julia. To me, I think she just stood out more than most. Breakout Male, Shuma Katsumata. I really just had to pick someone, and I thought he was the guy. Breakout Female Talent, I'm picking Azumi and Mizuki. They really stepped up their game and got championship opportunities. Azumi is still a champion, so this year should bring better things, I believe. And in matches of the year, hard to pick this one, so I went with Utami Hayashita versus Mayu Iwatani from World of Stardom for the World of Stardom title from Stardom's Sendai Cinderella on November 15th. And then it was Mizuki versus Yuka Sakazaki for the Princess of Princess title from Wrestle Princess November 7th. And then bear with me, it was Hiromu Takahashi and Will Ospreay for the junior title and Wrestle Kingdom Day 1 on January 4th. Yes, that match still stood out to me to this day, and start the year with that. And so, hope Wrestle Kingdom this year, which is Sunday and Monday, will be just as good. So check that out if you can. I also want to thank DJ Ansi, WrestleCast Radio, Stas Verens, and I don't know, I'm going to leave someone out. I'll Get the Tables for all their help during this past year, and hope to continue our friendship in this coming year. So check those YouTube, Twitch streams out for them, because they're the best. That's a wrap for me. Till next time with more indie shows from around the wrestling world. Don't forget to look up those Twitch streams and YouTube channels for other wrestling content. Thank you for watching or listening. Hope you enjoyed the cut. Keep safe, take care, and be kind, everyone. Back to you, Tom.
All right, thank you very much, Charlie. So let's keep rolling right along into the next segment here where I get to play Armchair Promoter, and we are starting a brand new tournament this week, and it is called the Fantasy Booker. Right, so this week on the Fantasy Booker, we are starting off the new year with a brand new tournament, and this one is for the currently fictional Warrior Wrestling Tag Team Championship. I put together a little 8-team tournament here with some teams that I think epitomize what Warrior Wrestling is all about, and you'll find out who those teams are as the next couple of weeks go by. And in this the first match of the first round, we have the Rascals, Desmond Xavier and Zachary Wentz, taking on Isaias Velasquez and Kylie Rae. Now, I put a couple of mixed tag teams in here because when the last time I had Steve Tortorello on the show, we talked about the possibility of Warrior Wrestling tag team titles, and I asked him the question, would it be limited to only men's teams? And he said no, he doesn't see any type of restrictions or limitations being put on those titles. So, trying to stay, keep it as true to reality as possible here. Now, I know Dez and Wentz have just recently signed with WWE, so if this a tournament like this ever does take place, they won't be a part of it. But hey, no tag team is more Warrior than the Rascals, so I had to put him in there. And Isaiah Velasquez, the ace of freelance wrestling, Kylie Ray, the current Warrior Wrestling women's champion. I think this would just be an awesome match. It would be awesome for the fans. I mean, this match would just be a lot of fun. It would be all over the place, all over the gym or the football stadium, wherever it was held at. It'd be all over the place with these four in there. But in the end, I would have to give the nod to the Rascals in this one. So Dez and Wentz moving on to the semifinals of the Warrior Wrestling Tag Team Championship tournament here. So moving on to the final segment of the show here, where I give kind of an unpopular opinion, and this week is definitely a polarizing topic to say the least, and I am talking about the weekly hot take. All right, so my hot take this week is this: WWE did plenty and did enough to honor Brodie Lee, Luke Harper, Jon Huber, whatever you want to call them. There were so many fans complaining, WWE should have done more, they should have had a 10 bell, they should have had all the guys on the stage, and blah, 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 blah. Just, seriously, I don't understand why people endeavor to find something to bitch and moan about. I mean, I don't think any of these people took into consideration, maybe, just maybe, WWE was trying to be considerate and allow AEW to have the spotlight for the tribute to Brodie Lee, as it should have been, because that is where Brodie Lee currently worked. Had he still been in WWE, he probably would have gotten all that stuff, would have got the 10 bell and all that, just like Owen did, just like Eddie Guerrero did, just like Chris Benoit did before they found out the circumstances behind that, But because he was no longer working in WWE, and because, AEW comes on after Raw, 2 days after Raw, maybe, just maybe, WWE showed a little bit of common courtesy and decency and didn't want to take the spotlight away or overshadow AEW, because that was Brodie Lee's home. Okay? I mean, we saw the graphics at the beginning of every WWE show this week to honor Jon Huber as Luke Harper, and we saw the subtle little tributes from the wrestlers and the announcers talking about, oh, you know what that means, or yeah, the Brodie Lee armbands, the Luke Harper pose from a lot of wrestlers, the discus clothesline being used. I mean, it's enough. Seriously, you're nitpicking about something that really isn't your business to nitpick about. I mean, Brodie Lee's family was, very happy with the tributes that he got from AEW, and had WWE gone over the top with the 10 bell salute and video packages and stuff like that on Monday Night Raw, they would have been accused of trying to overshadow AEW. So I mean, there's no way to win. There's no way to please half of these fans, quote unquote. I use that term very loosely because a lot of these people, they're not fans. They're critics, or they want to be critics, and so pretty much whatever. WWE did plenty. They did enough. It was subtle. It was, I mean, it was enough. That I don't know any other way to put it. There were the subtle tributes, there were the obvious tributes, and I think WWE did a very classy job of honoring, Brodie Lee, somebody who, let's face it, did not have a good relationship with WWE when he left. I mean, he was one of the first wrestlers to publicly say he wanted his release, because that's how unhappy he was. So, obviously not a good relationship there, but WWE, casting all that to the side because the man lost his life. Somebody lost a husband. Somebody lost a dad. And that's bigger than any petty little disputes in pro wrestling. So I think WWE did a good job with the tributes that they did. We did see a video package come out after Dynamite had done theirs. So that right there tells me that, that is exactly the case. WWE held back and, stepped to the side to allow AEW to be the primary, I guess you could call it, tribute show for Brodie Lee, which was the right thing to do. So all these people crapping all over WWE for not doing enough, seriously, get a life, go outside, talk to people, do something, because you got way too much time on your hands if you're going to nitpick this kind of thing. All right, so that is pretty much going to wrap it up for this week. Coming up next week, I've got a preview of Impact's Hard to Kill pay-per-view, another first-round match in the Warrior Tag Team Tournament for the Fantasy Booker, and results from all the big shows that we broke down over the course of this show. So I hope everybody will tune in for that. Again, I hope everybody had a safe and healthy and happy new year. Thank you to everyone again for listening, watching, and subscribing on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you're following on social media at catchhookshoot on all platforms. Patreon.com/catchhookshoot for your bonus content, ProWrestlingTees.com/catchhookshoot, and catchhookshoot.bigcartel.com for merchandise, and you can find links to all of that and more at linktree/catchhookshoot, or just scan this little QR code right here in the corner of the screen if you're watching on YouTube. And make sure you drop me an email at catchhookshoot@gmail.com with your questions, comments, or anything else you'd like to say about the show. So with that, I'm going to sign off. Hope everybody has a great week. Enjoy all of the ridiculous amount of wrestling that is coming up this week, and I will talk to you guys soon.